People who have made 180s in life. What happened and what did you do to change? I was a law-abiding, productive member of society, with a great career, home and family. Then one day I decided to go to the casino for fun. 2 years later I was a convicted felon with no home, less family and no career. 180s are not always good things. Quit drinking. Started daily meditation. 45-minute exercise. Therapy. AA. Consistent sleep schedule. Eating healthy. And having daily to-do lists. Went from a depressed alcoholic hermit to a functioning member of society that is only mildly depressed. People comment on how I seem different and have asked for advice. It takes a lot of work and, more importantly, consistency. Also, change doesn't happen overnight. People want a quick fix. It's very rewarding to make progress and reach goals. Started running 6 months ago and placed in the top 8% in 5K with over 3,000 people. And #X200B. Doing all this has made it objectively clear that I am not a total piece of garbage. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I was big into drinking and drugs when I was a teenager. I ended up stealing a lot to feed my habits and went to prison for a couple years. Having some sober time definitely helped me get my head straight. In the end, though, it wasn't sobriety that helped me change my life. It was just the idea that I had to accept responsibility for my actions. It didn't matter that my childhood sucked, that I had no money or skills, that I came from a family of addicts, or that I was a felon. The only thing that mattered was my actions and reactions. I'm not perfect, but I've stayed out of trouble for the past 15 years. My attitude has made me a great employee, so I've advanced even without an education. My family trusts me for everything because they know I'll do whatever I have to do to take care of them. And being seen as honest and dependable makes me feel like a better person, so I don't feel the need to be high and drunk all of the time. I spent 5 years working in a homeless shelter trying to sort of give back a little. I noticed that the guys routinely struggled with life, all blamed everyone else. I think it's the biggest reason people never grow. You can't change yourself if you think everyone else has the problem as you. I was doing really good in school, getting good grades, making lots of friends, into fitness. Now I'm depressed as fluff. Does chronic pain count? I was super sick for a few years without really knowing why. I had pelvic inflammation so bad I had trouble walking. Endometriosis runs in my family and my symptoms match this disease well. Most of my issues had to do with my period. Sometimes I'd bleed for a while. The longest I bled was 6 months in a row. My OB/GYN has treated an aunt and cousin for this disease and we went with that treatment for about 3 years. I was getting worse and worse. And I started to have scarier things happening. I felt like something was stuck in my hip and it felt like a constant wound. It felt so stuck I had trouble breathing and standing straight. My posture was miserable. Then one day after I went to the gym, I felt a ripping sensation in that area and then my inside felt strange. The day after, my bowels bled profusely, and it was dismissed as a minor digestive issue. I set an appointment with my OB/GYN and told her I needed the laparoscopy to at least make sure I was treated for the right thing. Good thing I did, because I totally wasn't. What was really going on was damaged bowels that lead to my bowels sticking to themselves, and that mess got stuck on my abdominal wall. I had a scar taken out that was most likely the culprit for this. Imagine dropping a spoonful of molasses in your bowels. The molasses spreads, gets everything sticky in the area it was dropped. Then, your bowels move. They move most of the time during digestion, by the way. And the molasses spreads further away with every movement. Then those newly affected areas get sticky too. And when those areas move too, it moves the molasses further. This is basically what was going on. During laparoscopy, they removed that film adhesion too and cleaned me up nicely. I walked straighter coming out of the hospital just a few hours after being completely under. Compared to how I was walking coming in, I found out it was most likely due to celiac, so I went gluten-free and all the tiniest symptoms stopped. After that, my periods are normal. I don't hurt all the time. I can go to the gym easier. I don't have to leave work early all the time anymore. My work performance has improved, and so has my anxiety and depression. I suffered for 5 god-darn years, and all it took was a small procedure of an hour and a half and a change of diet. I was depressed and on job seekers allowance because I was struggling to find a job after failing college, UK college, twice. And the entire time I had been volunteering at an animal shelter when I realized I like animals, so why don't I go into that field of work? So I went to college to study animals. The college in my city has a 3-strike system, so if I failed I couldn't do college again. But I passed the course with high marks and got into uni in a different city and graduated last year. Found the love of my life and we moved in together. I still have depressive episodes every now and then, but I'm doing a lot better now. I wasn't doing great last year. My grades were not great, barely passing everything. I was very overweight and had self-esteem issues and difficulties socializing. I also wore almost exclusively black clothing because I was convinced that I just wasn't made for the clothes I actually liked. Last summer, I spent a month in Singapore with my uncle, and something happened while I was there. Although I'm not sure what. When I came back, I immediately started dieting and changed my wardrobe completely and started putting myself out there a lot more. Now I'm 42 pounds lighter. My grades have improved a lot and I'm finally getting my life in order. I even got a girlfriend in the process. I feel a lot better, and I sincerely hope that anyone going through anything similar to what I was going through can recover and be as happy as I am today. I was an incredibly angry person. Couldn't even do anger management as it made me too angry. My stepfather died and my own internal rage issues wouldn't allow me to support my mother in her grief. I went and found a counselor who helped me work through it, and now I'm doing really well. It's a life's work, but going from someone who would regularly have incandescent fits of rage to someone who's quiet chill has been a real surprise. If you think you're too lost to get help, you're wrong. Spend the last 3 years getting fat and being lazy. My hobbies slowly evolved into boxes of things I haven't touched in years, nor did they interest me any longer. I would see books that looked interesting and would just ignore them this year. Then about 7 months ago, I made a small change and started meditating again, just for 5 to 10 minutes before I left for work. Then I would do it again when I got home. After a week of this, I stopped drinking soda and cut out sugary snacks. Once I did this for a week, my daughter said, "Dad, you look smaller and you smile a lot more now." Nearly broke my heart thinking I spent 3 years just wasting away and being miserable. So with that motivation, I joined a gym and my daughter comes with me every now and then. I started learning Spanish on Duolingo. My daughter is fluent from immersion school, and we now talk in Spanish here and there, mostly to tease my wife. She is a good sport about it, and laughs at my bad Spanish skills. Recently, my daughter asked me when I was going to teach her one of my hobbies. All I know is that first step felt impossible until I took it. Then the second step, giving up soda, was a 3-week battle with random headaches and feeling terrible. And I still struggle. But the steps keep coming and they feel great, and I'm excited to do stuff again. And when that a-hole cuts me off in traffic, I don't let it bother me. In fact, I feel sorry for them. All that stress has to go somewhere, and it won't be healthy when it comes out. Back when I was a teen, I had started online classes at the end of my freshman year, which unknowingly, as a teen, would destroy my social life and life advancement. Not only would I end up graduating high school late, but I also ended up becoming morbidly obese to the point of being just shy above or slightly below 300 pounds. My life was essentially spent feeling like I was years behind my peers, due to seeing all their Facebook posts about being happy for going to college, having jobs, school events, etc. This was rock bottom for me, as I felt like there wasn't a way for me to ever catch back up to what I missed in life until a few weeks before my 18th birthday. My family, who didn't have very much money, put together money and told me they would get me a vehicle to help jump-start my life. The catch, of course, is that I had to get a license if that happened. Therefore, I made a goal to get my license as soon as I was ready. A month and a half later, I had passed my learner's and my driver's exam this year. This led to a chain of events that would turn my life around for the better. I ended up gaining a large amount of confidence, as I now knew that I could achieve the same things as my peers, which led to a massive boost in confidence. This led to me wanting to pursue my original dream, which was to serve in the military. In order to do this, I had to achieve a set amount of goals: lose weight, get in decent shape, graduate online high school, and save for college to be able to pay for 15 college credits. Military required 15 college credits if you graduated through online high school, even with it being accredited. So while it took 2 years to lose the weight, I lost 70-ish lbs, got a part-time job and seasonal job 2 years through, graduated online high school late, but I didn't quit, paid for my semester at a community college, and ultimately had a social life that improved beyond belief compared to years prior. Finally, after nearly 3 years to the day of starting to study for that license, I ended up successfully joining the military. This led to a large amount of growth, life events, benefits, and opportunities I would have never gotten otherwise. And I hit 100 pounds lost by the time I had graduated basic training, OSUT. I ended up getting out after my initial contract to switch to my state's National Guard unit. However, before getting out of active duty, I used a military separation program that allowed me months of IT training that led to networking and interviews for some of my nation's, America's, largest corporations. I had been recommended for hire to work for a company that wasn't very micro, and ultimately was the last thing I needed to realize that I was caught up to my peers. I ended up denying the opportunity due to certain life events. However, I got another great job opportunity in my home state, which has led to me still holding that job to this day. After all was said and done, I used the VA home loan with my beautiful wife to buy a home a year after I left the Army, my GI Bill to get paid to go to college while working in my career field. And I still have all the weight off me. It's a struggle sometimes, but I refuse to revert. And this is all after 9 years next month from when I was told I was getting a vehicle. In my free time, I now help friends, family, and co-workers who look to make the same kind of life jump starts. TL. Doctor, fat, socially isolated, depressed, no direction in life, owning home, beautiful wife, career, no college debt, physically in shape, and ahead of most peers from high school. All because 9 years ago my family got me motivated to get a license.